I'd like to say a big thank you to my dear sister, Pastor Bola, and our darling husband as well. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a privilege to be here. I don't take it for granted. And I want to say a big thank you. Today we are talking about emerging into the wilder place. My name is Bibi Apampa, as some of you would have probably know. I'm talking about emerging into your wilder place, preparing to prosper. I'm going to go a bit fast. Most of the things I'm going to share today has been uploaded already. If you go to my website, www.retirementqueen.net/wealthy-place, www.retirementqueen.net/wealthy-place. Everything I'm going to be sharing today is already uploaded to that particular site. Now let's start. My anchor verse today is taken from Psalm 66 verse 12. Psalm 66 verse 12. And it says, "Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, but thou broughtest us out into our wealthy place." I love this statement. Thou bringest us out into our wealthy place. And why am I discussing that? We're talking about emerging into our wealthy place. So we've been somewhere before, but we are now coming out, emerging into the wealthy place. Another verse I'd like to put at the back of your mind is in Genesis 2, verse 10 to 14. And I'll read it. Genesis 2, verse 10 to 14. It talks about Eden, the most perfect garden that God created. And it says, "A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden. And from there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pishon. It flows around the whole land of Havilah. Then there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Then there's Edelom. The onyx stones are there. There's talk about the second river. It says the second river is Gihon. That it flows around the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris. It flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates." Why am I sharing this? This is the most perfect garden that God created, the Garden of Eden. And it started with one river. But that river divided into 4 and became 4 rivers. We're talking about emerging into your wealthy place. It is not possible for you to just continue living with just one river flowing in. Even if only one river is flowing in, that's for one river to be able to divide into 2, 3, 4, 5 different rivers. And I'd like to ask you a question. If you want to emerge into your wealthy place, do you have a strategic plan? What is your strategic plan? For some people, they will look at their husband, their spouse as their financial plan. That is not right. Your parents are also not your emergency fund. Some people think, oh, my parents are alive, I can always go to meet them. That shouldn't be your strategic plan. Some people are working and thinking, oh, my children are going to be my retirement fund. It's not right. I don't counsel that. Because the Bible tells me that a good man leaveth a good inheritance to his children's children. So your children, you should not plan for your children to be your retirement fund. So what is this your strategic plan if you want to enter into a wealthy place? It starts first with your daily routine. What do I mean by your daily routine? It's written many times that the success of champions is seen from their daily routine. What do they do? There's one thing I follow, which is very easy to remember. It's called Savers. S-A-V-E-R-S. Savers. It's a routine that was picked up in a book, which I would recommend for everybody. And in that book, it talks about what do you do as your morning routine. There are many champions. Their morning routine is what sets them up for the success of the day. The first thing, looking at that word, savers, the S there stands for silence. When you wake up in the morning, you stay silent before your God. You reverence him. You worship him in silence. You adore him. You praise him. You honor him. You just thank him that you're alive and you're awake. Now the A in savor stands for affirmation. Now is the time you pray to your God. You talk to him. You worship him. After worshiping and praising him, you now go into his presence and then command your day. How do you want your day to go? What are the things you want to happen to you? For instance, when I'm going on through my own affirmations, I talk about favor a lot. That I have favor before God and before man. Everybody that looks upon me with favor. And I have wisdom. The wisdom of God makes me stand out amongst my peers. I talk about healing. I am healed from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, and I shall continue to live in divine health and healing. You can come up with your own affirmations. The V there stands for visualization. I visualize the day. How do I want my day to go? It's like I do like a rehearsal of what the day will be. So by the time I'm going through it, it's like I've gone through it before. I've already seen it in my head and I'm walking through it. Now in the savers, the E there stands for exercise. It's important for you to move your body. It's important for you to get yourself ready for the day, healthy and strong. So spend some minutes doing your exercise for the day. You can combine it with a prayer work. You can put on a praise music and dance. Just, move your body, let your body energize your system. Then the how there stands for reading. Spend time to read the Word of God. Spend time to read your Bible, your devotional, whatever it is. But it's important to always read because you need to make sure your brain is exercised as well. Apart from that, take time off to now read in a particular area or a subject that you want to specialize in. Even if it's just 30 minutes, maybe you can start with 10, 15 minutes a day. Just start reading, read so that you can become an expert. Now the S there stands for scribbling. Scribbling is to write. There's been proven that there's a link between your hand and your brain. I know the Bible tells us, it says, write the vision and make it plain, that you may run with it. For the vision is for an appointed time. So it's very important for you to write. Every day, we write your goals. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to happen to you? When you write it out, it makes a big difference, and then you're sure of starting this process of emerging into your wealthy place. Now we're talking about the 7 streams of wealth. What are the 7 streams that most millionaires have? If you're going to talk about emerging into your wealthy place, then you need to know what kind of streams of income you need to have. The first stream of income, which I think we all know, is that of earned income. What is earned income? You work for 30 days and at the end of 30 days you get paid. Or you work for a week or you work on an annual basis. That is earned income. It's very active. The second type of income is interest income. What is interest income? For instance, if you have a deposit account, or you have a fixed deposit, or you have a savings account, they'll tell you this is percentage of interest that they pay you on an annual basis. Sometimes they pay it on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. So I'm sure you all know what interest income is. The third type of income is dividend income. What is dividend income? If you have shares in a company and the company declares a profit, at the end of the year, they would share part of their profit to their shareholders. And what comes to you is your dividend. So that's dividend income. Now, the fourth type of income is what I call profit income. What is profit income? If you're into commerce, you buy and you sell. You buy at a particular price and probably sell at a higher price. The difference in the price is actually your profit. So that is profit income. Then you have what we call capital gains income. What's capital gains income? For instance, it could come either in your property or in your shares. Maybe I buy shares for like £2, £3, and at the end of the year of a season, I'm watching how is the price going on the stock market. Maybe it has appreciated by 50p or it has appreciated by 70p. That difference in the value of when I bought the shares and the current value, or if it's a property, what is different between the price you bought it and the current price, that is your capital gains income. Now the fourth income, the sixth income is actually rental income. What is rental income? When you have a property and you get rent maybe on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. I'm sure we all know what rental income is. And then the seventh type of income is royalty income. For instance, I have books on sale on Amazon. Every month, Amazon sends me some money. Sometimes small, sometimes big. That is royalty income. On my YouTube videos, when people watch, after some time, From every 2 weeks, I get an update in my account from YouTube. That is what royalty income is. Now, as you are growing older, we need to learn about these types of income and which one we move from to it. And the Bible is so direct when it comes to incomes. In Ecclesiastes 11:2, the Bible tells us, it says, invest in 7 ventures. In 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the earth. The Bible itself is telling us that we should not just have one stream of income, but we should invest in 7, if possible, in 8. So when we're talking about emerging into a wealthy place, we need to look at all these types of income and see where we are and where we want to move into. 7, most billionaires have 7 streams of income. So if you only have 1, it means you need to now work on yourself and say, okay, how do I go to the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th? At least have 2 other streams of income coming in. Now there are 5 levels of wealth. And what we're discussing about emerging into your wealthy place. So we need to learn many of these things. What are these 5 levels of wealth? The first level of wealth is financial protection. What is financial protection? You have a source of income. And if you don't work, no income comes in. You might be skilled, maybe it's a salary, or you get paid for the activity you do. It's just, financial protection. It's the lowest form when we're talking about levels of wealth. Now, the second level of wealth is financial security. Financial security is that, okay, you have a good job. You are not just on a 1-month contract or a 1-week contract, but you have something. You are learned. You've gone to school. You have a job. You are sure of regular income coming in at a specific time, maybe on a monthly basis, or if maybe it's on a 3 monthly, but it's regular. You are sure of the income coming in. Then we now go to financial independence. When we get to financial independence, we are not just looking at a regular income, but we are looking at a situation where even there's a stream of passive income coming in. For instance, I told you that I get checks from YouTube, I get checks from Amazon. That already moves me from just financial security to a level of financial independence, because then I know there are other streams of income coming in. Then the 4th level is financial freedom. When it comes to financial freedom, most of your income is no longer active, but it's more of passive and residual, which means you have worked, but money now flows in not just from one source, but from different sources. Now, the 5th level, which all of us, by God's grace, would get to, is that of financial authority. When you have financial authority, your actions can make other people financially independent. Why am I sharing these 5 different levels? We're talking about emerging into a wealthy place. You need to know which level you are on now, so that you know the next level that you're going to target. That way you can move from one level to the next level. Now, since we know already now the 5 levels of wealth, let us start. How do we now start creating wealth? How do we start creating wealth? Remember, we are talking about emerging into a wealthy place. The first thing we need to do is acquire the 7 basic skills of money. What are these 7 basic skills? The first skill is learning how to value money. It's important when you want to create wealth to learn how to value money. I'll give an example. If all I'm doing is saving £100 every month, when I start work, maybe when the time I'm 20 to when I want to retire at 65, a period of 45 years, and all I'm doing is saving £100 a month, at the end of 45 years, I would have over £1 million as my account, going at the 10% rate of interest. When people would ask me, how do you get a 10% rate of interest, maybe in England? Put it in your pension fund. I found out that because the government returns 15% of your tax, roughly, I'm not too sure of the figures right now, I think it's between 15 and 20% of tax, already just with that, you're already getting a 15% return. Now, for instance, if you now delay starting that investment just by a year, an investment that would have taken just £100 a month, which would be £1,200 in a year, just for starting and delaying by 1 year, instead of making £1 million, it's making 155. It's a loss of 101,000 just because you delayed your savings by 1 year of £100, which would have been £1,200. That is what we are talking when you talk about valuing money. It's important to know these skills so that you can actually put it into work in your life. The second thing is learning how to make money. Using other people's money, other people's ideas, other people's resources. The third thing when it comes to basic skills of money is knowing how to save money. It's very, very important that we cultivate a savings culture at a very early age. What is this savings culture? You know, when there was problem in Egypt, God gave Joseph the strategy on what they were going to use. He told them that, look, in the years when their things are bountiful, you should only eat 80% but save 20%. And the people call it the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle. How do I interpret it as a Christian? It means that every money that comes into my hand, 80% of it is what I spend. 10% goes to God as my tithe, and 10% I use it to pay myself, to develop my savings, to grow my savings and my investment fund. Now, the fourth thing is learning how to invest money. There are different strategies when it comes to investing monthly. And investing your money could actually be into a business, it could be into portfolio, into stock, shares, into crowdfunding, apart from your savings account, so, and your pension account. So it's very important to learn how to invest money. The next thing is learning how to manage money. Financial planning. We'll talk about that later on because it's very important. Then the sixth skill you have to learn is how do I share money? How can I be a giver and be a blessing to many people? And then finally, how do I protect and shield money? It's very important because it's not how much you have, but it's how much you're able to save, how much you're able to shield, how much you're able to grow that really matters. We've talked about the different types of income. We've talked about the skills you need to have. I know sometimes when people tell me, oh, these places are saturated. What are the things I can do? How can I start all over again? I mean, maybe I've lost some time and all. Let's now look at future cash cows. The areas where the money is moving into. We know that so many things have changed with this post-COVID era. What are the cash cows, future cash cows, which all of us can think about how we can go into? The first area is in healthcare and wellness. More and more people are living longer. So what area, what business ideas can you come forth when we're talking about wellness, about health? The other area that's a future cash cow is coaching and mentoring. I found out that during this COVID and during this lockdown period, so many people reached out to me for coaching. I found I had to tell them I couldn't take on any new clients. Why? People need experts who can take them from where they are to where they want to go. They need somebody who they can be accountable to, who has an idea of where they want to go. So there's a need for coaches more and more now. Another area of future cash cow is in the area of finishing school boot camps. People want to learn things fast. So for instance, maybe I want to go into videography or I want to go into films. Is there a place I can go for a week? Boot camp where they're going to teach me everything I need to know. So, I mean, that is an area that is going to be a future cash cow. Whether you want to learn how to cook or you want to learn how to start maybe your YouTube channel, where can you go start a business online? Where can you learn, in a concentrated environment for like two weeks or 1 week or, or learn, that kind of thing. So finishing camps, finishing schools and boot camps. People are looking for transformation agents. Who is a transformation agent? A transformation agent is somebody who is an expert in what he does. And he can take you by the hand and just gives you instructions, do this, do that, and you get to your final destination. Those are areas that are future cash cows. Self-publishing, self-promotion, digital coach. As many of you know, I'm a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And I always tell people, I self-publish. I don't go through a publisher. All my books on Amazon that have hit #1 on the bestseller list, they are all self-published. The area where you have to look for a publisher before you can get your book out, or you need a promoter before you can bring out your music, I think that area is changing. So these are all future cash cows. So if you can become an expert in these areas, then you are sure that you're able to develop other streams of income in these areas. Another area which is developing is e-learning platforms. This is one area I'm very much involved in. Like, I run the Wealth Academy Africa. Wealth Academy Africa is actually an online learning platform where you can download tools, download courses, where people can come by and learn at their own pace. E-learning platforms is a future cash cow. Then having a lifestyle business, trend and passion, what you are involved in, what you are passionate about, being able to pass across that knowledge, you find out that it's another cash cow area. Now, it's one thing to know the different streams of income that is available. The other thing we need to know is, how do we sustain these income streams? We were talking about emerging into a wealthy place. It's not just creating the income, but it's making sure that the income is sustainable. You know, the Bible tells us that a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. You cannot leave an inheritance to your children's children if the income that comes in is not sustainable, or the income does not grow, or that income is not being consolidated. So, and since I know it's a mixed crowd, I'm going to try to just go through financial planning and financial empowerment and planning at different ages. Now, for instance, if you're in your 20s and you're just starting, and maybe you've just graduated and taking on your first job, what are the things you need to do if you're talking about financial planning and empowerment in your 20s? The first thing you need to do is start an investment fund. I talked earlier about the 7 skills of money, about learning to save and learning to invest. That money that you're putting aside as your savings, which is 10% of your income, please start your investment fund. And you could start that investment fund by opening a personal pension account. Because what we want you to do is to build a fund that you will not have access to, easy access to, that you can just go in and withdraw at any point in time. So start your investment fund. Start putting that 10% of your income into that investment fund. We're not talking about still in your 20s. In your 20s, chart out your career path. How do I see myself 5 years, 10 years from now? This is the career path I want to follow. This is what I want to be. So cast it out, so that in a way it's like you know the answer and you're just walking back from the answer. So chart out your business or career path. Build a rainy day fund. Nothing is permanent anymore. The job that you have, it doesn't. I mean, with what we saw now in the last 6 months with this COVID dilemma, we find out that so many people lost their job. So it's important to have a rainy day fund. And we usually counsel that you have about 3 to 6 months of your salary in this rainy day fund. But this rainy day fund should also be in either your ISA or in your high interest account. But we don't want you touching it. It should be something that you just put aside. In your 20s, avoid debt. Live below your means. Because everybody is doing something doesn't mean you have to do it. Learn how to live below your means so that you can build up capital, you can build up a fund that will be for the future. Then think about all the youth empowerment programs that are available. There's so many youth empowerment programs. There's so many programs either by individuals or by non-governmental individuals or by the government. Investigate and take advantage of some of these youth programs. Now, we've talked about 20s. Supposing you're in your 30s, what do you need to have in place for financial planning purposes? We'll talk about the investment fund. By now, you should be growing your investment fund in your 30s. I mean, you should see it go. You should know what you're doing with it. Secondly, you should invest in yourself. This is the time that you should look into the future. Do I need to go back to school? Is there any skill I need to acquire that I don't have? Are there things that I need to refine? Do I need additional qualifications for the career path that I have chosen? By now, invest in yourself in your 30s so that you can be on the right path. The third thing is take risks. This is the time you can actually take risks, that you can diversify whatever you are doing. Maybe change career, decide to go into business or combine the two. The fourth thing you have to do, it's very important. By the time you're in your 30s, start saving for your own home. It's important. It should be a priority for you. That it's a goal you need to have for you to have your own home, so that you don't just pay off the mortgage of somebody else. You're not just paying off somebody else's mortgage. The fifth thing you need to have in your 30s is to decide on starting your retirement fund. Of course, in your 20s, we talked about starting maybe your self-invested pension fund. By now it should be growing, because you're not looking at 30s. You only have maybe another 30 years as active work life. So you start planning towards your retirement fund. And then the other thing you need to put into consideration is your insurance. Life and health insurance. It's not just to protect you, it's to protect people that you love, so that you're sure that they're well taken care of. And if anything happens to you health-wise, or if anything happens to you, to your life, you're sure that you are very well covered insurance-wise. Now going into your 40s, what do you need to have when we're talking about financial planning? No, we're talking about emerging into your wealthy place. This thing is a process. And it's important, because I believe in the audience we're of different age, in different age brackets. That's why I'm going through these different stages. In your 40s, your investment count should be there, should be solid. Now your retirement fund. You should know what is in your retirement fund by now. You should be building it. It should be growing. You are in your 40s. By now, I believe maybe you have a family, or you have young children, or your career is doing well. By now you're being home. Either you own it already, or at least you should have put in your mortgage for that house. But in your 40s is not the time you still be paying rent. By now, if you're following all this financial planning that we've been talking about, in your 40s you should be living in your own house and paying off your mortgage, and not just still paying rent. That's just a counsel. And they can now start looking about, okay, can I now go into buy to let? Can I build my real estate portfolio so that I can have somebody paying rent to me, and that rent is going towards another mortgage, so that I can have another stream of income coming in. In your 40s again, you have to start thinking very well about what are the kind of investments I can go into that can build other streams of income for me. Remember I told you there are 3 types of income: earned income, portfolio income, passive income. In your 40s by now, you should have at least another 2 streams of income coming in. It might just come in as trickles. It might not be much, but at least you know it will grow over time. So you can either choose, am I going to go the portfolio income route, or am I going to go the real estate route? By now, you should have it sorted out. And then you have to start thinking as well, if I decide to go into business, what kind of business can I do? For those who have full-time jobs, you have to start thinking about something online. What are the things I can do online that can bring in another source of income for me? In your 40s, you need to write your will. When we're talking about writing your will, some people will say, what do I have? There isn't much. No, writing your will is not just for you, but because you have loved ones that you want them to be well taken care of. Now, there are 2 types of will that you must write: the legal will and the digital will. Many of you probably know what the legal will is. This is the last testament, the will and last testament of so and so. I have a property, my property should go to my children. That's the legal will. But there's something that we all need to think about now. That is the digital will. Why do we need a digital will? Every one of us, our accounts, our investments, many of them have a password or a code. And it will be terrible if something happens to you, you have money in your account and your family cannot access it because they don't know your password, because they don't know your code. It's important to have this digital will that somebody can access if anything happens to you. And they can actually help you with your accounts, with your investments, that everything, it's in the digital form. So somebody should know your codes. Somebody should know the code to your phone, to your laptop. You should find a way of writing. Like I tell my clients, what I try to counsel is that they should try to write everything out, set up, send it to either their Google Drive or OneDrive, or create a new email account and then send it as an email to that email account. Then that person you trust would have access to that email. And so that person, that if anything happens to you, I can always access your digital will. This is very important. So not just your legal will, but your digital will. In your 50s, if you're going to talk about good financial planning, your retirement fund, you should know where it is. You'll be able to calculate your gratuity, your pension, your annuity. You must have it worked out. You have an idea of where it is. In fact, by now, in your 50s, you should know exactly what is in each account. That is one. Second thing you need to do in your 50s, you have a vision of your retirement. What am I going to do in retirement? How much money am I going to be available for me to spend in retirement? Have a budget. Know exactly what it is that would come in and what should be going out. So right now you should start planning like an ideal retirement life vision. Real estate investment. By now, the mortgage on your home should have really gone low. You should be in a position where you're almost paying off the mortgage. The balance on your mortgage is something you should be able to pay off within the next 5-7 years. And then you should be thinking about, okay, do I have a buy to let? Do I have any other streams of income coming in? For my 30s or my 40s, I should have built something else, maybe in stocks, portfolio income, or in real estate, or which is passive income, other streams of income that should be coming in by now. The legal will, it's very important. God has told us that with long life, He will satisfy us. But Jesus started His ministry at the age of 30, and He died at 33. He had accomplished a lot. So the thing is, when God decides to call you home, are you well prepared for your family? Have you prepared for your family? For them to be well taken care of? This is why you need to write a will. It's important. So please, in your 50s, make sure your digital will is in place, your legal will is in place. Then your health and life insurance, your power of attorney. If anything happens to you, who can take charge? You should have a power of attorney that takes care about what happens to your health, to you in case you have any health crisis, what happens to your investments, what happens to, so this is why it's important to have this kind of thing all incorporate together in a document. And then finally, in your 50s, your retirement and business activity. It's very important. What will you be doing by the time you decide to retire? It has been proven that many people who retire without having anything to do, when they wake up in the morning, there is nowhere to go, no activity filling their lives. Many of them tend to die young, few years after retirement. So plan something for yourself, even if it's volunteering, to teach at a local school or to help out, but make sure you have an activity that will keep you active, that will keep you alive, that will keep your brain active. So you're not just waking up in the morning and you don't have anything to do or anything to look forward to. We've talked about different streams of income. We've talked about wealth, sustaining the wealth. But then where do we start from? What can I start doing from today? Because I think that is the question that will be at the back of most people's minds. Yes, you've told me about different types of income. You've told me what is available. You've told me about future cash cows. You've talked about sustaining wealth and financial planning. But where do I start from? Where do we start from? The first thing when it comes to creating all these streams of income is asking yourself, what are the skills that I have? What am I passionate about? What are the things that people the questions that people ask me that I'm knowledgeable about? What are the things I can specialize in? Those are the things that would come in when it comes to where do I start in growing other streams of income. As a side also, what are the things you can start today? I've talked about saving and investment. Please, this is very important. If you have a good, if you're working in a company, you have a good pension plan, very good, apart from the government zone. But start thinking about having a self-invested pension fund as well. You can have this by the side. And this works for you because already, from what I've explained earlier, just put in £100 a month. The government is going to give you back the tax you should have paid on that amount. So already you're getting like your 15 to 18% return even before the investment of the company. So your pension fund is very important. It's self-invested pension fund because of the miracle of compound interest. Then investing in the stock market. These are things you can start today. Even if it's £20, £30, start investing on a regular and on a monthly basis. Buy shares of companies that you know would not go down. It's the companies that produce and manufacture essential commodities. Now, the other thing you can think about is going into network marketing for those who love commerce and are able to convince people and grow things. Starting a consultancy, starting an own business or side hustle, investing in crowdfunding. There are many crowdfunding sites that you can put in money, and the returns are higher than having your money in the bank or in the savings account. Becoming an expert as an author, speaker, coach, consultant, trainer. It's important for you to specialize in something. And then real estate, buy to let, and then writing a book, becoming an author. Now, online, what are the things you can do and start today, or start learning and training yourself in? Affiliate marketing. This is very important. I've told you the way I combine my own affiliate marketing on the blog and on the YouTube channel. Starting writing a book and posting it on Amazon Kindle. It is free to post your book on Amazon Kindle. You just have to learn how to market it, because that is where many people have challenges with. Starting a YouTube channel. I've told you already that some of the videos that I've uploaded to YouTube 2 years, 3 years, as long as people keep watching them, I get paid for it. Becoming a social media manager. For those of you who are very good on social media management, maybe managing Instagram accounts or Facebook, learn how to make money from your social media accounts. Don't let it just be something that you're only posting your pictures of when you look nice or when you're feeling happy and all. Start something. Becoming an infopreneur, selling products online. Starting an e-commerce. It could actually be on Amazon now. There's hardly anything you want to buy that you don't get on Amazon. So why not take advantage of it? Learn how to sell things on Amazon as well. Becoming a digital miner, freelancing, and then making money with social media. Becoming an influencer. I mean, you'll be surprised at what influencers charges now, because they found out that most companies now they prefer to use influencers when it comes to marketing their product. So why not build your social media accounts to the status of becoming an influencer, so that people can actually market their products through you? Still talking about emerging into your wealthy place. I've talked about different types of income. What I would like you to do, take a sheet of paper where you are now. I'll try to go through some of these income streams again. Just pick 2 or 3 and decide between yourself and God today that I would go and learn about all these streams of income and start building one. If Eden, the most perfect garden, could have 4 streams, what's stopping you? You look in the life of Deborah. Deborah was somebody in Georges that I admire. Deborah was the lady that they said once she was the wife of Lapidus. She was the mother in Israel, so she had children. She was the judge. She was the psalmist. She could know how to sing. And when they were going to war, she went to war. I'm sure she was a warrior as well. Each of these skills that she had were streams of income. And the Bible has told us as well in Ecclesiastes 11, it says, invest in 7 ventures. No in 8, for you don't know what disaster may come upon the earth. So I'm going to give you some of these income streams again. I would like you to pick at least 2 and decide that you would learn and start from them. The first one is real estate. Please, please, please. Your home is important. After your home, think of what you can do when it comes to buy to let or other areas when it comes to real estate. Stock market. All of us can start on the stock market from today. It's important. Build other streams of income. Let them come in. Don't think side hustle. What are the side hustle I can start and grow and develop as another stream of income? Money market instruments. Can I go into bonds? Can I invest in cryptocurrency? Please don't go into anything you don't learn. That's what I'm saying. You should pick any 2 and learn. Learn what it is to go into these areas of business. Crowdfunding ventures. I hear lots of crowdfunding. Really agree crowdfunding. Multi-level marketing, and then becoming an expert in something. Becoming an expert means you dictate your terms, you dictate how much what you charge for what you know, for your knowledge. affiliate marketing, becoming a YouTube partner, developing an online course, writing a book and posting it on Amazon, influencer marketing, blogging, podcast, e-commerce. Please choose any two and decide within your heart that you're going to start on these two from today. In conclusion, I always like to share stories when I'm giving a talk, and I guess it came out from when I was used to teaching the children's church. We always love telling the stories to the children, so I've always loved telling stories. Now I'd like to share the story of Alexander the Great and Darius. I'm sure many of you must have heard about Alexander the Great. Who was he? What kind of person was he? And King Darius. Alexander was somebody that was told that he should choose either to have a short but impactful life or to have a long life. And Alexander decided, no, I want a short life, but I want it to be impactful. I want to be known. I want to be great. And so he became a great warrior. He became a great conqueror. He had many countries. He conquered many countries. He had many countries that were under him. And everybody knew him as Alexander the Great. You would always see him on the white horse, leading the men to war. It was not a general that stood at home, that stayed back at home. He was a general that led his troops to war, and he always won. Now there was another king ruler, King Darius. Some of you have heard about Darius in the Bible. King Darius was another king who had Persia, who had some large areas as well. And so the two of them were always were the two superpowers. And being two superpowers, people would always say, who is the greatest? Is it Alexander the Great or is it King Darius? So Darius challenged Alexander to war so that he could become the real ruler of the whole world. In challenging Alexander, since he had many soldiers and many countries who were paying homage to him, all of them came together as a big army. And when they met for the battle, Alexander the Great was outnumbered 50-1, which means for every 50 men in King Darius' camp, Alexander the Great had only one man. So of course the morale was low in the camp. Everybody kept on wondering, we're all going to die. 50-1, and this Darius had chariots, he had horses, he had everything. Alexander was outnumbered. But here was Alexander the Great, calm. And his children went to meet him. Are you not bothered that we're going to lose this war? Don't you see that we are outnumbered? Can't you see that Darius came with all the armies from different countries to fight us? Alexander told his general, he said, no, we are going to win this battle. He said, how? It's not possible. 50-1. We can't do it. Alexander said, look, Darius has soldiers, but they're from different countries. They are not united. We are united. I am your leader. I am your general. You all obedience to me. All of you love me and you trust me. He said in the case of Darius, they are not united. They are different armies that have come together. So Darius is the focal point. He said, just tell everybody in the camp, we only have one target tomorrow. And that target is Darius. Tell all the soldiers, kill Darius. That is the battle cry for tomorrow. And his soldiers were wondering, kill Darius? He said, yes. If we take Darius out, the army will scatter. We would win the war. And so the word went out, kill Darius. That is the battle cry for tomorrow. So in the morning, everybody was set. And here was Darius with his horses, with his chariots, ready to charge in. And Alexander the Great told his men, he said, those of you with the shield, build a shield wall. Because when the chariots are coming, they won't see you. They will see their image on the shield reflecting, seeing the sun reflecting on the shield. The chariots, the horses, they are not very smart. They would not want to go into the shield. And that was what they did. So all the army, the soldiers, they held up their shield like a shield wall. So as the chariots were charging, they all kept on turning back because they kept on seeing their own image in the shield. So they kept on turning back, and as they were falling, the army of Alexander the Great was attacking them. But what Alexander did was not to go behind the men, leading the army, and they were all shouting, kill Darius, kill Darius, kill Darius. When the other generals and all the other soldiers were saying that they were not the target, that Darius was the target, they all started surrendering. If it's Darius that needs to die so that we don't die, they all started surrendering. When Darius saw that his generals were surrendering, and he had that word, that his soldiers, his generals were surrendering, and that everybody was saying, kill Darius, kill Darius, he took on his horse and he ran away. And that was how Alexander the Great became the ruler of the whole world. Why am I sharing you this story? I'm sure you're probably wondering, Alexander the Great is in history. Why do I have to learn it? Why do I need to know this? So what does this have to do with emerging into my wealthy place? The thing about Alexander the Great was that he was focused. He knew to win the battle and become the ultimate ruler of the world. He only had one target, and that target was Darius. I'd like to ask you the question today. What is the one thing that you need to know, that you need to do very well, that will help you to create wealth, that will help you to maintain wealth, to sustain the wealth? What is that thing you need to focus on? Like in the case of Alexander the Great, it was Darius, kill Darius. What is the Darius that needs to be killed for you to be able to achieve your goals of financial independence? The reason many people don't succeed in life, the reason many people don't excel is broken focus. Many people will tell you the way to make a man lose his goal that he's working on is to give him something else to focus on. Alexander the Great was focused. It was Darius that needed to go down. I'm asking and I'm challenging you today. What is the Darius that needs to go down for you to be able to emerge into your wealthy place? For you to become the person that God created you to be? For you to be able to succeed, to excel, to prosper in life, to sustain, so that Bible verse that says a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children becomes real and becomes alive in you. That is the challenge I have for you today. What is that Darius in your life? Everything I've shared today, I've already uploaded it to my website, www.retirementqueen.net/wealthyplace. www.retirementqueen.net/wealthyplace. And on that particular page, I've actually uploaded a free book which talks about peaceful retirement planning. Most of the things I've shared today, they're in that book. You can download that book for free as well on that particular page, www.retirementqueen.net/wealthyplace. God bless you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Pastor Bola. Thank you, Pastor Leke. God bless you very much.